Hey guys, and welcome to Petrol Ped. As you can tell, behind me is perhaps the best sounding car I've ever had on the channel. It's one of the most powerful cars I've ever had on the channel. And it's also one of the coolest looking cars I've ever had on the channel. Behind me is a Mustang, but it's not a normal Mustang. It's quite a special one. I've wanted to get this car on the channel for a long time. Now, if you tune into the channel regularly, you will have seen this car before. It made a brief appearance on a video when I took my Mustang Mach-E long-termer to Hendy's to get a Steeder strut brace fitted. This car was in the Hendy Performance Workshop and I briefly showed it on camera, and so many people reached out and went, "When are you going to do a film with that car?" And have no worries, on that day, Andy, the owner, and I had a chat. And since then, we've been hatching a plan to get the car on the channel. Two things needed to happen. The first thing was it had some other work being done to it, some more tuning work to get the best out of the supercharger and to hit the most bonkers performance figures that Andy could. That work has now been done. In fact, just a couple of weeks ago, I was driving home along my road towards my house and I saw the car coming the other way. And I was with Tracy and I went, "Listen to this, this is going to be good." And it went past and it was like, oh, the noise was insane. And that was the final shakedown day of the car having had all the work done. So the work was done. The second thing that needed to happen was we needed a beautiful, dry, sunny day. And that is exactly what we've got today, because this car, headline figure, it's running about 860 horsepower and it's a 6-speed manual Mustang. Now, very shortly, I'm going to get Andy, the owner, on camera to talk to us about all the work that's been done, because believe me, he's the guy to talk about it, because there's some amazing stuff happening, not just under the bonnet of this car, but just in general. Let's just take a walk around the back, because the presentation of this car, the wrap, is something very, very special. I think this car looks awesome from pretty much any angle, but I really love the Chem Block tribute wrap that Andy's put on it. So the base blue is the car's color. It's called Grabber Blue, and then the vinyl wrap that's gone on top of it, I just think, one, really sets the car out, but two, is a really classy tribute to the legend that is Ken Block. If you come around the back of the car, you've got this, this insane wing on the back. And then it's what happens here. It's what comes out of this exhaust, the noise that this car makes. Now, the interesting thing is, at this point in time, I've seen the car driving and had it drive past me, so I've heard it from the outside, but we've only literally driven about 500 yards up the road from the Goodwood Hotel to the filming point here. So I haven't actually been in the car with it on full chat and heard what it's like on the inside of the car. I wanted to get that reaction when I had the cameras rolling. But I think you'll agree, the car is striking and very, very cool to look at. But for me, actually, it's the work that's gone into this car underneath the bonnet is something very, very special. So let's lift the bonnet, get Andy on camera, and hear from the main man exactly what's happened to this Mustang to give it 860 horsepower. It's cool, isn't it? Now then, guys, this is Andy, the owner. Thank you so much for bringing the car along, chap.
You're welcome.
Can we pop the bonnet?
Of course.
Because there's plenty to talk about under there. So how long have you had the car? And just let's start understanding and listening to your journey, basically, with it.
Well, I purchased the car 4 years ago, completely stock.
Yeah.
And 4 years later, simple as this is the result.
And was it always going to be a project car?
For sure.
Yeah.
For me, I like to be different,
Yeah.
which I think I've achieved. And two, stock Mustangs for me, they need sort of like modifying, just to make them look like a proper muscle car.
Yeah, and you've certainly done that. Now there's plenty to talk about. I guess, shall we start with, so base engine, 5-litre V8.
Yes.
And this is a pre-facelift Mustang, you
Yes,
said?
it's 15-17, what they call a pre-facelift.
Yeah.
So even though the car is a 2018, it's classed as a pre-facelift. This is at the time, 2 years ago when we installed it, it was, it's the Gen 5 3-litre twin screw supercharger. from
Yeah.
America,
Yeah.
and this was the first pre-facelift S550 in England, and we quoted at the time as in Europe to have this Gen 5 installed.
Yeah.
They're normally fitted on the facelift cars, the 18 plus, and when we listed it as first in Europe, it was never queried. So
We'll go with first in Europe.
for sure.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
happy with that. So
So tell me about that supercharger, because it looks the part for sure.
well, like I say, it's a new Gen 5 from Whipple. It's been out about 2 years now, and it's much more efficient. It delivers much more power than the previous models, and basically it's a bolt-on kit, double the horsepower overnight, and obviously with a few chassis mods.
Yeah.
A great setup.
It's double the horsepower.
Overnight, bolt-on, stock internals, stock gearbox, even a stock clutch. They put a billet crank gear, billet oil pump, and an oil cooler just to make sure everything's all running at the right temperatures.
It's amazing that they over-engineer the internals to be able to deal with that kind of horsepower.
Yeah, for sure. It's testament really to the engine, I think.
Yeah.
To run, like I say, they say at 850 to 1,000 stock internal. You start pushing. There are people that push over the 1,000 brake.
Yeah.
Then you need to be like, uprating, your pistons and your com rods and
It's a whole,
forging things.
new game
for sure. And this is perfectly fine.
When we met at Hendy's, big shout out to Hendy's by the way, because they do loads of stuff.
They do. It's my second abode. They do all my chassis work, all my servicing, and it's on my doorstep.
They're like, oh, Andy's in again.
Exactly. Yeah.
But when we met there, we were chatting, and you were you'd planned to have some tuning done just to get the most out of the setup, and that's why we've kind of delayed making the video. So
Yes.
what was that?
Well, like I say, it's been 2 years since the install. When you're running this kind of power, software updates it's an ongoing thing.
Yeah.
The stock engine, stock sensors are thinking overnight, what on earth's going on here? So, occasionally you're going to throw an error code. So, but Paul at Wartech has done a marvellous job, and 2 months in, everything's going fine.
Going down into the ECU and making some tweaks and stuff in the ECU.
It's a HP Tuners software, and Paul knows his stuff with the V8s, and just basically start again.
Yeah.
Clean sheet, and numerous test drives, as you can
I can attest for that. Noisy test drives.
Yes. So
so what were your dyno figures when you finished then?
well, we actually gained 20. It wasn't the plan. We didn't actually need any more power personally, but it gained another 20. So it's about 862 to be precise.
862 horsepower.
Yeah, 0.2 if you want to be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Torque?
719. So
That's Newton meters, not pounds.
Yes.
For an heck.
But we're running big 11-inch rear wheels with 305 rubber, so it's it copes with it okay.
Wow. Now you've done loads of work on the suspension and stuff as well, but I reckon we'll talk about that when we're out and about driving, because I'm desperate to experience the car from the inside, having only seen it drive past really loudly. But that is quite some setup. Any other plans engine-wise, or is that you happy now?
That is it, to be honest.
Sure?
Yep, for sure.
What if I text you in 6 months?
Well, my mates and my missus especially, when I say that's it, I'm done, they just, it's like, I should be on stage, I think they say. It's
like, right, we'll believe you. Yeah. Well, cool. Okay, so let's get some cameras set up and go for a drive, because I have a feeling that's going to be quite emotional.
I think you'll enjoy it.
It's a hot one today, my friend.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Ready to rock and roll?
We are ready to rock and roll. So exhaust-wise, is it switchable or just loud?
Loud all the time. No valves.
No, none of this valve rubbish.
No.
Nice. That's it, like tick over.
It's ridiculous, really.
So while we're waiting for things to warm up, bearing in mind it's about, what's the outside temperature, like 23. Suspension wise then, what have you done to that?
So it's running Pedder's fully adjustable coilovers all round, front and rear. Chassis wise, BMR braced at the front, braced at the rear. I'm also Steeder's Stop the Hop kit. It's a
Stop the Hop kit.
It's
for axle tramping.
It's a very popular conversion on these. Obviously, you want that rear axle, rear diff. It needs to be all locked in.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's a good chassis. It's a few little tweaks here and there, and it's a good base.
I think that's my base. So I drove that Steeder modified Mustang a couple of years ago, maybe 2 or 3 years ago.
Yep.
So that, I don't think it had as much power as this. So this has got more power. Gearbox, is it the same gate, same change?
Yep.
Because that had the short shifter.
Yeah, it's got a short shifter on here.
Right. The supercharger whine's pretty.
Yeah. Ironically, they don't whine at all. It's an enclosed air filter, so it's not like a Dodge Challenger.
Yeah.
It's actually a sound tube coming through the firewall, so you can hear it in car. But from outside, completely silent.
Really?
Yeah. So it's just a sound tube you can buy from America, and
just to get you, because that for me, that's the.
Yeah.
I think a supercharged car is one of the best sounds there is. You know, it's just like that.
Just that whine, isn't it?
Whine.
Yeah.
There we go. She's very kindly letting you out. That's brilliant.
Like I say, it's not really happy on these kind of roads. It's not a, you know, it's not a B road car.
No.
Obviously.
Wow. But 1,700 kilos, that's the same weight as the new BMW M2.
Is that right? Wow.
Yeah, this has got a 5-litre V8 in it. Wow.
Yeah, so it's
So we've gone with the lapel mics, and I'm quite glad we did.
and it's constant. There's no lag. It's, you know, just pin it. Yes, it gets a bit skittish, but
Yeah.
you know,
So like in the wet?
horrendous. Just leave it at home. Yeah, just leave it at home.
Yeah.
So.
And when you get in a car that does it normally. Oh yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. There's a bit of throttle. That's easy, isn't it?
Well, they, you know, first gear they say, oh, it's a waste of time, but you know, it still pins it down, and it, you know, it still goes in a straight line-ish. So.
That's what we've been waiting for. Gap in the traffic.
There you go.
It just keeps going.
Yeah, it does. Just pulls all the way to 8,000 RPM
Really?
and stop 6.5. So, you know.
Wow. It's a brute of a car.
There you go. I enjoy it. It's
Right then.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Is it just a...
Yeah.
So, how many people have you let drive this, mate?
I think you're the first one. My missus won't drive it. She's on the insurance, which makes it cheaper, but she's not interested in driving it.
So, it's clutch weight wise and pull away out of a car park weight wise, it's actually relatively straightforward. It doesn't feel that immense. It's quite an intimidating car though,
I think.
because
It's only a normal Mustang.
I know.
Put your foot on the pedal.
this is true. And that view out the bonnet is just with the big bulge. That's just proper. That is.
Yeah, it's for parking it's not ideal, but
No. Oh, look, we've even got an open bit of road as well. Oh, their brakes are good, aren't they?
yep. There's 2-piece rotors on the front, so
Oh, mate. It's got so much go in it. You can, and there's two things here. One, it's not my car. Two, public road. But it's just got so much pull. What an awesome machine! It's good from the passenger seat,
excellent.
but it's much better from the driver's seat.
Yeah, for sure.
The brakes are fucking awesome. So, definitely the loudest road car that I've driven.
Oh, that's good to hear.
I think it's close to the NASCAR.
Yep.
The NASCAR was quite loud, to be fair. This is epic.
And you get two side by side, and it's ridiculous, really.
Oh man, what a thing!
It's nice to sit this side and get another opinion of it. So
It's that blip on the downshift, that is fruity, really fruity. Oh. Need one of these in my life. This is just amazing. I can imagine at outright pace, this is a very, very quick car. But the thing that's really cool about it is you don't have to be going that quick to just enjoy. It's the auditory element of having a car like this.
Yep.
Whether that's on throttle with the supercharger kicking in, or you'd be doing that all the time, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Or you probably do.
Second gear is where it really is. It does get lively.
Yeah, I'm being gentle with my throttle
Yeah.
inputs. Oh man, alive! What a thing! She's like, what's that coming up behind me? What a thing. Woo. Well guys, I'm going to draw that video to a close there because we've got tractors aren't on our side today, are they?
They're not. No.
mate, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
For bringing the car over and giving up your time for the film, and letting me drive the car.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
It's epic, and it's actually way more driver friendly than I thought it was going to be.
There you go.
When you say, 860 horsepower Mustang, you just have this vision of basically something that's going to try and kill you every moment you put the throttle down. It doesn't feel like that at all.
So I mean, if they're set up correctly, good quality products.
Yeah.
You can't, there's never a better saying, buy cheap, buy twice.
Yeah.
Just put the right stuff on. If you're going to build these projects, put the good, proper products on there, and this is the kind of results you can get. And
it's wicked. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed that. Put in the comments below what do you think of Andy's Mustang, because I love it. I absolutely love it. It's up there, top 5 favourite cars I've had in the last 8 years, mate. It's wicked.
Oh, that's, I'm happy with that.
Very cool car. But yeah, let me know what you think. But for now, we're going to sit behind these lorries and tractors. But I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Comments below are always welcome. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to Petrol Ped for plenty more content to come. And I'll see you on the next film, guys. You take care. Drive safe.